Yeah.
Yep.
Right. Thank
Okay.
you. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, over to you, Cik Mansur.
Okay, thank you. Now, basically, our session today is to cover enough functions within or features within the Zoom so that we can have or attend our class, U3 courses effectively. Yeah? So we are not going to cover the whole Zoom, but those features that we will need, enough features that we will need for our classes. Now, the one, can you see my screen now? Yeah. So I suppose you can
Not
see my
yet.
screen now,
Can't
right?
see anything. No, you don't see anything yet.
Do you see my Zoom screen?
We are looking at the
Mansur,
pictures
it's
of the
still
members.
on a gallery. It's on a gallery.
Yeah, gallery, correct. Yeah. Okay, so the first thing I would like to discuss with you.
We are looking at gallery.
Yeah. So the first thing I would like to discuss with you is that because from now to the end, you can play around with it so that you are comfortable with it. So I'm gonna start with the view. So if you look at your Zoom, if you go to the top right, you see view, right?
Yes.
There are two options there in either speaker or gallery, right? So
Yes.
basically what happens is that if you set to speaker, you will see whoever speaks. It will be in a big screen. Okay. And the rest will be in so-called thumbnails. Now, if you do gallery view, you will see everybody in small thumbnails. So there will be time maybe you want to use speaker view, or at other times you may want to use gallery view. So at least you're aware. And as we progress, as I show screens, you can play around with it. You can test these options and that options. Now, at this moment, you will not be able to do it because I'm sharing my screen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop sharing for say a minute, half a minute to a minute, so that you can try those options under view. So top right, top right of your screen, you will see view, and then you have speaker, and then you have green. Full screen basically is just to have the Zoom in the full screen. Basically, that's what it does. So I'm gonna stop sharing so that you will see the effect of those options, either speaker or gallery. Okay. So play around with it for a minute, and then as we progress, you can play around with it further. Okay. So I'm gonna stop sharing for a minute. Before that, can you hear me? Just to make sure that my audio is good. Okay. Thank you, Sophie.
Very clear, Mr. Mansur.
Okay, so now you have an opportunity to try play around with view. Okay. So try speaker and try gallery. So you see the difference. Now you see the difference at this moment because the screen is not being shared. If I share screen, you will see that most part of the screen will be you'll be seeing my screen because I'm sharing my screen. At the moment, I'm not, so you will see as you would if nobody is sharing their screen. Yeah. So give it a try. Give it a few seconds more. Okay, get comfortable with it, and then as we progress, well, you can test for the try further, play around further. Yeah. Now I'm going to share my screen again. So notice that when I share my screen, you will actually see my screen, right? So I'm going to change my screen. Your screen will also change because I'm sharing my screen. So it depends on what I'm showing on my screen. So the instructor will be doing this. When they share screen, they will, what you see is basically their screen. Okay, so that is basically what speaker view and gallery view is about. Now, I'm going to move to the next item, so-called pin. Notice that when you see gallery view, okay, it depends who has the video on and audio on, and how many participants are there in the group. It may, it may not be, there may not be enough space to show everybody on the same screen. So what you see is there will be multiple pages. So some people will be on some other pages. So the next page, for if you scroll, for example, oh, there are still some participants in our session that their names are in the next screen. And in fact, there are 3 screens altogether, right? So what you can do is that if there is a specific reason, if you want somebody to be on the first screen, you can so-called pin the person. So for example, if I were to click on Sheikh Hamdan, I want to pin him. Okay. Now he becomes the person that I will see. Now, if I go to gallery, view, notice that he will be the first one, right? So he will stay here because I pinned his video. So he's going to stay here. Right? So you can try. You can try use. Not, don't worry. If you use pin, the pin works only on your device. If you are using a computer, it will only work on your computer. Everybody else will see different screen based on who they pin. Okay, so if I pin Cik Hamdan, if another person pin somebody else, you will see another person on your screen in this spot.
How to pin?
Okay, how to pin? You move your scroll, your cursor over the person, right? If you move, you will see there's a 3 dot, right? If you move to Shopee, for example, you see a 3 dot, right? And you click on the 3 dot.
You see.
Right. So you click on the 3 dot, then you will see replace the pin. Right?
Excuse me, Mansur.
Sure.
If I'm using tablet, I'm not using any cursor. So how to get the pin?
Obviously, different device. Zoom has a different flavor on different devices. May I know what tablet you are using? Are you
Tablet,
using
this one is the cheap tablet. I don't know what's the name. My daughter bought.
Okay. Is it Apple? Because Apple probably have its own set of menu, so slightly different. But the principle is the same, that you can do a pin.
How?
Yeah.
Click then.
Chot Ling is an Apple user. Jun, may I can I confirm what device you are using?
This is I think it's China made one, not the quite a small one.
Okay. The one other way is, if you notice at the bottom of the screen, right, on my screen, you see participant, right?
Okay.
Let me move this message. You see this participant, you can click on the participant, you will list of participant, right? So you can also do a pin based on the participant list, where you move a cursor over a name, a person's name, click on more, you will see the replace pin.
Okay, I try it.
Yeah. So go ahead and try. Don't worry, because when you do it, it works only on your machine. So one person may pin somebody, another person on his device, he pins another person. Don't worry.
Cik Mansur.
Yep.
How to unpin?
Okay. You also click on that person.
Okay,
And
thank
then
you.
it says remove pin.
What
Okay,
happened
you
is,
click.
what happened is when I click on the photo, no message come out, but the pin came out. Oh, yeah, now I saw a remove pin. Yeah, sorry. Okay,
Yeah,
got it.
so you have to click on the three dot, and when you move
Okay.
your cursor over the
Three dot.
thumbnail,
Yeah, got it, got it.
you look for that three dot. You have to click on that three dot and then remove. Or, as I was saying earlier, if you have a participant list, you go over the person's name, click on more, then the option is there, pin.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Okay.
Cik Mansur, click the photo. Is it click the profile lah? I can click grilling, but I don't see anything other than the chat there.
Okay, can you click on the participant?
The participant easier.
Is
I
it
Yeah.
still
here?
don't get the three dots lah.
Yeah,
Okay.
can't get the three dots. I click grilling the okay, but not. I don't see any three dots here.
Yeah.
The chat, yeah.
Different device works slightly different. So on your device, probably what you can do is click on the participant. You see the list of participants, right?
Yes, yes.
It may not be exactly the same like
Yeah,
this.
yeah,
but
yeah.
you
I
see a
think
list
so
of- Yeah, and then you go to a particular person who you want to pin. You click on that person, then there will be an option to pin.
Why don't you ask them to click on your name, Cik Mansur,
Yeah,
so that
can.
then they will pin you straight away. Go into Cik Mansur's name and pin Cik Mansur, then you will get him as the speaker as well.
Chole is actually they don't know where to find the pin function. So what
Actually-
Mansur is saying is that if you go to the, at the bottom of your Zoom, if you see the participants there, there's a list of there is the
Yeah.
participants
Yeah,
here.
you see
a
this
person.
list versus
If
participant,
you
right?
click on that, and then
Yeah.
you see the name of all the people, and then you go to the name there, you click on the side there, that it will be more. You see there's a more thing. You click on the more, they will tell you pin or you highlight.
Yeah, and you click on the more, it gives you options. In this case, the pin. Yeah. There could be more options depending upon the scenario. For example, if you pin on your own name, you will see there's another option, rename. But if you pin, if you click on somebody else's name, you don't see rename because you can't rename another person.
I think maybe my tablet don't have this function.
Okay, but we will address your later, if you don't mind. Yeah,
Pardon?
because there will be slight differences in the usage depending on the device that you use.
Yes, yeah.
So what you're seeing now is basically on the computer. If you use computer. Yeah.
Mr. Mansur,
Yeah.
can I ask, what is the purpose or what is the reason for this printing? When do you actually need to use it, or why do you use it?
Okay, you use it, for example, because when somebody speaks, remember there was the speaker view.
Okay.
Yeah. As you speak, if you notice on my screen, as I speak, you see the light, the color here. It's lighted. It's highlighted with the thicker box around it.
Yellow,
Right.
yellow box.
So if somebody speaks, then now Chokling, for example, just spoke, and then like so. But if you want the person to stay in one location at the top rightmost top, so that if I will speak, the person is always there. Then you spin. So for example, let me try a show again. I pin on Cik Hamdan, right? So you will notice what happened to Cik Hamdan. Okay, and if I go to this is in the speaker view, he becomes the speaker. If I go to gallery view, then notice
Oh, I
now
see.
this is where he is. It moves to here.
All right.
So
Okay,
there'll be
thanks.
situation where you want to be looking at a particular person, instructor, for example, all the time. Yeah? Now, there is another feature that I would like to share. Notice that I was sharing about pin, right, just now? There's another one, which what we call spotlight. Now, spotlight can only be done by the administrator, by the host. You can't do it. But when the host set a person to be on the spotlight, it works quite similar to pin, but it works across everybody in the meeting. So everybody will be seeing the same thing, that same particular person being as pin, as being done on everybody's machine. So let me try. I'm gonna pin. Sorry, I'm gonna put some.
Cik Manso,
Yeah.
my tablet is Huawei.
Huawei. Okay, so I will need to check Huawei.
Android tablet.
Yeah, and but in particular, how does it work? I will let you know.
Yes.
So if I were to set somebody, say for example, Quilling as spotlight for everyone. So notice that everybody's screen now will see Quilling. Sorry, Quilling. Everybody's seeing you. So do you notice that everybody in this meeting will be seeing Quilling? Instead of when you pin, you only see that particular person that you pin, and then another person will be seeing another person because that person may pin another person. So during the class, what happens is that the admin will, most of the time, depending upon the situation, will spotlight the instructor so that whoever speaks at that point in time, the instructor is always in the main screen. Yeah. Even if you set to gallery view, notice that the person that is spotlight is always on the top left corner. Okay? Notice that when I speak, you can see the bar here, right? So it's indicating that that is the person who is speaking at that point in time. But this is the spotlight. Who is speaking? I am speaking. You see the bar here.
I see.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, so that
Cik
works
Manso,
when
I've
the
got a
spotlight is used.
question.
Yes.
My name is Angeline. I'd like to ask, I'm using a handphone now, so my pin and spotlight functions cannot work. But my question is, how many persons can we pin at one time and how many persons can we spotlight at one time?
Okay. Spotlight can only be done by the administrator. So you will not be able to do it. It's just that for you to know that when admin, the host, when the host set spotlight, everybody will be seeing the same person in a meeting. Okay. So
Understand.
but a participant.
How many persons can be spotlighted at the same time?
It can
by
be multiple.
The host?
It can be multiple. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what about pin? I can control my pin, but how many persons can I pin at one time?
Possible. It can pin multiple, but there's a setting that controls it. By default, it's only pin one person at a time. And then if you want to pin another person, it will replace. Yeah.
I see. Thank you.
Yeah. I'll show later how to do multiple pin. So that's why when you go, say for example, Quilling is now spotlight. I can go to Sophie, for example.
Oh, I think Mansoor is.
I will do another spotlight. So if you notice now, you see the white, like I don't know, spotlight. Is it a spotlight? A pin?
The pin.
A pin, yeah. So both of them, Sophie and Quilling, are now in the spotlight. So if I were to change this view to speaker view, you will notice that the two of them in the main screen. So as the number, I can spotlight, as necessary. Then you will see those people whom I spotlight will be on the main screen. Provided that, again, view whether in speaker view or gallery view. Now, which view to use is your comfortable, your own preference. Some people would prefer to view in gallery mode. Some prefer the speaker mode. Okay. Question?
Encik Mansor, Lily here.
Yep, Lily.
Since you have what you call that, a spotlight quilling, you see when I click on quilling in my gallery, it only comes out chat. I cannot find the pin anymore. Is it correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
So that means once you have spotlight, I cannot do anything on my
You cannot pin.
computer
Yeah.
anymore.
Correct. Yeah.
I see. Okay. Thank you.
So I'm going to remove quilling from being spotlight. Now, notice that I remove quilling from being in the spotlight, and then Sophie is the only one now because I have not removed her. So I'm going to remove Sophie as well. Okay. So when I go to gallery view, now anybody, if I pin somebody else instead of Sophie, that person will replace Sophie on top leftmost. Okay. So any question on the pin and the spotlight? Okay, spotlight is just for your knowledge, for your info, but you cannot set spotlight. Spotlight is set by the host. You can use pin, provided that nobody is in the spotlight at a point in time. Okay. So as we progress, you can play around with it, set in gallery mode or speaker mode, pin, okay, as we discuss other topics. So the next one I would like to discuss is on mute. Okay? You see this icon here, it's like a microphone, right? So this works. Okay, this works in so-called toggle mode. Toggle means it's either set or it is not. So in this case, my microphone or my audio, so mic plus the speaker is working. So if I want to mute so that nobody will hear my mic, I can click.
Mansur, you're muted there. You should mute somebody
Mansur, you're
when you
mute.
try and talk.
Mansur, you're mute.
Yeah, I was mute. Sorry.
Start all over again.
There was a red bar diagonally on the microphone, so it indicates that I'm in mute. So when I'm in mute. I can be saying anything which you wouldn't hear. Just happened just now, by accident. Okay. So then we move next to it is the video. Now notice the video. Video, you have to be careful.
So, Mr. Mansur, sorry, just to
Sure.
go back to the mute part. Let's say we are the host. How do we mute all the others?
Okay. There is an option. I will not be able to show you here at the moment because I'm not the host.
All
This
right.
computer that I'm using now is not the host. Why? If I use another computer that is the host, you will see different options. You may get confused.
Okay.
So I'm showing using this computer. I'm not a host, so that what you see is similar to what you see on your own computer.
All right, got it.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, there's no way for the host to mute everybody. And there are two options, whether that host want to mute, doesn't allow anybody to unmute themselves, or mute everybody with the option that anybody can unmute themselves at any time.
Okay.
So it depends on the admin or the host at the point in time.
All right, thank you.
Okay. So now coming to video, you need to be careful about video because sometimes you are looking at your computer, you don't realize what is in your background. Yeah. So it may not be something that you want people to see, in those that things in your background. So just keep that in mind. Now it's the same, so similar to mute. If you click, this is also a so-called toggle switch. When you click, it works one way. If you click again, it works the opposite. And then click again the original way, and then going back and forth. So if I were to click to stop video, what you will see later is a red bar across the video icon. So you will not see my video anymore, right? All you see is basically is just my profile photo. Right? Now, switch it on again, I click that again, then my video comes back. Now, there are ways where you can hide your background. It may work to a certain extent, depending upon where you are and the background, your background. It works best if your background is in green color, but not necessary. In my case, you can see that I set so-called, what we call it, the background. Okay. Now what you do is, you see the video, right? You click on the video. There's a up arrow next to the icon video. If you click on it, then you will see some options. You may not see the visual camera. You will see probably HD cam, depending upon whether your computer has a camera or not. Now you can do blur my background. It will just blur the background. So you will see actually behind me, there's some almari or some cabinet, but it's blurred up. Okay. Or you can choose virtual background. Then it gives a screen. Now notice this virtual background. There are standards that comes with Zoom standard. So everybody will have this. Okay. None, blur. So, or San Francisco, if I click San Francisco, now I'm in San Francisco. If I click grass, I'm somewhere in the middle of the field or earth. So notice that these are options. Now you can, okay, you can choose or add additional what do you call it? Background of your own. So notice that in my case, this is additional. So what you do is, you notice there's a plus sign button, right? So you just click on it, and then you add the image, and then you will just identify which image you want to use as your background. Yeah. So in my case, I have this U3A. Okay. Now I don't want to go into video filters because this one probably, I mean, you can play around with it if you want later, but it's probably you don't want to use in our classes.
Cik Mansor, so,
yep.
This week, yeah. It seems my Huawei tablet don't have this function, virtual background. I'm trying to, I want to learn this one, but it seems I don't have this feature, this function, virtual background.
Okay. Do you mind if because your device is specific? I'm not sure if anybody else is using Huawei is having the same problem. Do you mind if we were to address your question towards the end?
Okay, no problem.
What I will try to do, what I will try to do is I will try to use my own Android device and see whether it works similar to your Huawei. I have a Samsung. It may not be exactly the same, but we'll see later whether there's some similarities that could give you an idea of how it works on Huawei. Okay.
Thanks.
Now, so we have covered mute, unmute, hide video. Now, moving forward, you see there's one that says reaction, right? There's one button, it says reaction.
Yes.
Yeah. So
at the end, we can ask.
So if you click, on the reaction, you will see some options, right? The first one is a clap. So if you click clap, the clap icon will appear next to your photo. So for example, if I were to click on clap, yeah, somebody just did. Yeah. So yeah, just give it a try. So you will see clap. Oh my god, it will stay there for a short while, and then after that it will go away. Yeah? Notice that after that it will go away. All this you see here, and the one below, notice that they are presented slightly different. This one is presented in a box, right? There's a box around it. This one, there's also a box around it, right? This is also, there's a box around it. What does it mean is that those in the box, when you use this, it will stay on your video, okay, next to you. It will stay until you remove it. Whereas the clap, whereas the first row, the clap, the good, the joy, the open mouth and all that, it will just stay there for a few some a moment, and then that it will go away. So this one, for example, notice that I put a yes. It won't go away until I click again. Then only then it will go away. So those were, those that in a box, they work differently from those here, the first row. In here, in the sense that when you click, it appears. It won't go away until you off it. Okay. Now there's a big rectangle across the raised hand. Now raised hand during the class, this admin or the instructor will pay extra attention. Well, because then they will assume that you have question to ask. So at the right point in time, they will stop and call out your name, whether you have any question to ask or not. Okay? So give it a try. So likewise, raise hand, it will stay there until you click lower the hand. Then only then it will go away. And notice that when you raise your hand, right? Not others, when you raise your hand, your video will go to the top leftmost, so that the instructor will get the attention. So those who raise hand will appear at the top on the first screen, so that the instructor don't need to scroll to the next page looking for anybody who has questions. It doesn't need to, or the admin, yeah, doesn't need to, because whoever raise hand, automatically the video will be at the top on the first screen. Okay. So one way or one use for raise hand, obviously, when you have questions, yeah? And then the instructor or the admin will alert the instructor at the right time that there's a participant who has a question, who has raised hand, so may have a question. Okay? Now another option to raise a question, is to type your question. So you may not want to verbally post the question, but you want to type it. Then you use the so-called chat. Yeah. When you click chat, then you will see a chat screen appear. Let me remove this participant. Notice that participant that I showed earlier, you can choose to close it by clicking on this down arrow, right? And then choose close. Then it goes away. Now notice all the chats that people type in chat will appear on your chat history. Okay. Now there are two parts to it in the chat. This is the first part where you see all the messages that people type, and then at the second, the bottom half, the bottom part is where you type your chat. So and then chat. When you type chat, you can type the chat that is meant for everybody. Everybody will see your chat. Or you want to chat to a specific person, you can select whom do you want to chat with. Okay. So if I were to say everyone, if I to say if I were to type test chat and then enter, I press enter, then you will see my chat goes into the history, chat history. Yeah. Now, so there are two ways to post questions. Either you raise your hand at the right time, the instructor or the admin will call out your name, or you type in the chat. So if you prefer type, then you can type in the chat. The admin, most of the time, is the admin will actually monitor the chat. So if there are questions, they will have to post the questions to the instructor for you. Okay. Well, if you chat with a specific person, then others will not see that chat, obviously. Yeah, it's only that specific person will be able to see it. So remember, two ways where you can raise questions, or you want to comment. Either you use the chat, and where is that? As the bottom of your Zoom screen, you will see an icon that says chat. Okay? And yep.
Why my screen is not steady? Emily Sui here.
What do you mean not steady?
You keep blinking. Oh. The screen is not steady. Oh.
Are you using a computer or mobile device?
I'm using a notebook.
A notebook.
Likely internet problem, right?
Yeah, it could be
power line.
internet problem. Anybody else has any issue with their Zoom?
No.
Here steady so far.
Okay. Yeah. So Emily, it seems that this moment that is probably specific to your device. We can address it later and we'll see what seems to be the issue.
Okay, thank you.
But is it disturbing for you to participate in the session now?
Sorry?
Is it disturbing enough if you want to continue with the session?
The screen is not steady. Keep blinking. That's I can't find whatever chat whatever you teach us to use. I can't find because the screen is not stable.
Emily, can you switch on your video and see, because we now cannot see what you're referring to, but maybe if you switch on your video, then Manso will be able to see what's your problem.
Okay, now it's stable already.
Okay.
So it's your internet problem lah.
So possibly internet issue. I'm not saying it is, but possibly. Karen Ku is asking how to check the specific person. Okay, this is if you look at the screen, right? The bottom half of the chat screen is where you type, right? And notice that two, right? You see two, and then you can click on the arrow button, and then you can identify who do you want to chat with. A specific person. Okay. So for example, currently, if I were to type a message and notice that to Lily Ku will only Lily Ku will be able to see the message, nobody else. Okay. Now you will see on my chat history, because this is my personal chat history, so it will be there, but you will not see on your own Zoom. So notice that it says me to specific to Lily, hi Lily. Yeah. So again, how do you do it? You go to click the arrow icon there, and then you choose who do you want to chat with, or you can select everyone. Then it will be with everyone.
Recording in progress.
Okay, so we have discussed about reactions. We have discussed about chat box. Okay, we have actually covered virtual background when we were discussing about video earlier, right? Right.
Excuse me, Chip Manso.
Yeah.
As Siu Feng here, just want to check, is it possible here to attach something? Assuming you're referring to something and you wanted to attach something to show. the
yes.
speaker. How do we attach
Okay.
over here?
It's by way of, notice here on the screen, it says share screen. Right?
Oh,
You just share screen, so you can share your computer with everybody else. But
a file?
But
What
by
if it's
default, yeah.
sorry, what if it's a file, not sharing a screen, as I wanted to share a file or a reference to a note or paper or something like that? How do you share an attachment like Excel or, or Word?
If you see here towards the far right chat, the chat, right? You see the cursor, where my cursor is, right? So do you see this one here?
Okay.
You can click here, and then
okay, yeah. That one you have attachment.
Correct.
You can.
Then correct. So then you can choose the file that you want to share.
Okay. All right. Over here. Okay. Thank you.
No problem. Okay. So otherwise you can share your screen, but sharing screen by default it is not allowed unless the host specifically allow it.
Okay.
In this session at this point in time, it is allowed. That's why I can share. Because I log in as a normal user. I'm not the admin. I have another computer that's working as admin. Because the reason being so that you will see my icons, menu, and all that similar to what you have on your screen. Otherwise, you will see additional, which will get confused. So only the admin can allow for people to share screen. But once it is allowed, you can just click on the share screen, right? You click on the share screen, then it will give you the list of, notice that here, at the top here, it says basic, advanced, and files, right? Basic, advanced, and files. Now, by default, it will show the basic, and basic, either you have screen, okay, you have whiteboard. Now, whiteboard basically it gives you a blank screen to everybody, so for example, if I want to do drawing, a draft, a rough drawing, I can do a drawing, but I can show a little bit later. Or if you have iPhone or iPad, in case I will not be able to, or any other documents that I have open at this moment. So you will notice that I have this slide, right? So this slide that I was showing about our topics, and this is document where the slides is, the PowerPoint. And then I also have this file manager. So I can share any of this. Well, let me share one, and then we'll get back to it. So for example, I can share cost. File manager. So what you see is you will see my file manager, right? All right. So because now I'm sharing only my file manager. So I'm sharing my screen again. So that is the screen sharing feature. Again, it's one by default it is not enabled. Only when you can try now, you will get an error to say that the host doesn't allow you. If you click on the share screen, you will get that message. In this case, you will allow, but it says somebody is already sharing. Why? Because the host has already allowed. Otherwise, I will not be able to share my screen. So in this particular meeting, the host has allowed sharing. You will be able to share. It's just that they're saying that somebody is already sharing. You will not be able to share because it cannot be more than one person sharing at the same time. Right? Now, notice record. It doesn't work unless the admin, the host, give you a specific permission. So if I were to click record, then it says please ask the host to give permission to record. Yeah. So by default, it doesn't work. Now don't worry about application. Okay. What we have features in Zoom that we have now is enough for our courses. Okay. Okay. I have a question from Karen about the background. Okay. So Karen is asking about how to set that background. So I will divert to background for a short while. Remember, you click next to the show stop to the video. There is an up arrow. You click on it. You choose visual, right? And then there's a plus sign. So you click on the plus sign there. Yeah, notice the plus sign. So you click on the plus sign and then add image. And then you choose the image that you want to use as a background. Then the image will appear here. And then you just click on the image. So for example, if I were to click on the beach, so I'm now in somewhere at a beach. I don't know which beach. Okay. Or I'm in space. So, but anyway, that's how you add background image. Yeah? You just go to plus sign, add image. Yeah? Does that answer your question, Karen?
Cookies on cookies setting. Next.
Let me go through the questions in the chat for a while. We have answered how to chat to specific person. That the one has been answered. Which is Hamdan also had to clarify. And then can you please explain again the bottom video icon, leave it on or cancel means what? Okay, so I suppose we're talking about the question is regarding this video, right? So notice if I were to click on this, and then you will see a red bar diagonally, across this icon. What it means is that the camera will be off, so you won't see my video. What you see is my profile photo, but you don't see my video anymore. But if I were to click again, then the opposite will happen. It will on my video again. Then you see me. So I hope that explained. I'm not sure whether that explain Karen's question. Sophia is correct about handphone and tablet. They don't provide exact same functions as a computer. For example, if you use a mobile device, you will not be able to record. Okay, record can only be done to a computer, so you will not see this record on your mobile device because it's not allowed. It won't work. It's not there. The feature is not there in the first place. Yeah? So that's an example. If you use computer, only you will see this. Cookies setting, okay. This is not specific to Zoom. This cookie setting. Any website that you visit, they will always ask you whether it's okay to store cookies. So basically, it's just a little bit of information about you when you visit that website. Yeah? Now, whether is it okay or it's not okay, it depends which website you go to, because it can be whether you trust that website or not. If you don't, then don't accept it. Zoom, but by allowing cookies, it will help the website to manage your visit to that website. Okay, so you make it how shall I say? It's not simpler, but the experience is better if you set cookie on. But again, be careful about which website it is, whether you trust that website or not. Okay. How do I set up profile picture? Okay. Profile picture. You need to have an account. So when you join out the class, when you join the class, you may or may not have a Zoom account. You can still join the class. But certain things that you want to do, for example, if you want to set up a profile picture, you have to create an account, a Zoom account. You have to, because that profile picture is set in the account setting. Okay. So how do you do it? We divert a little bit. Can I leave it? Can I leave it to the end? Yeah. Can I defer this question at this moment? We will just go through because it's not may not everybody will be interested in this, especially those who doesn't want to set up account. Okay. Okay. So I think we have answered all the questions. I hope.
Yes.
Okay, so we have covered all the way from speaker view, gallery view, pin, spotlight, mute, all the way to virtual background. Now we have looked at the participants earlier, right? Participant list, where you click on the participant, you will see participant list, right? I'm going to close this chat window for a while. Yeah? So how to close? Remember this low down arrow and then close. So now this is the participant list, right? So we have seen it before. Now, admin will monitor, because remember our classes, you have to register for the classes, right? And so the admin will admit you into a meeting, into the class, based on the list of names so registered for that particular class. So what happened is that when you try to join a class, just like you did when we wanted to join the meeting earlier, what happens is that Zoom will put you into a so-called waiting room. Okay, so it is not, you're not automatically admitted into the meeting, you'll be placed into so-called waiting room. And then the admin, the host, the admin or host interchangeable, it means the same person. The host actually will review the list of people in the waiting room, yeah, and admits into the meeting those in the list. Now it's very important that you use the right proper name, because sometimes they use iPhone as their name, or it's very generic name. So the host will not be able to tell whether who is this person and whether this person actually registered for the class or not. So it may take a while, you may be waiting in the waiting room for a while, not knowing what's happening. But why it's happening is basically because the host cannot identify you. Yeah. So now normally the first time, the host may allow you to join, and then it will ask you to rename yourself, so that in the future it will be able to identify who you are. Okay, so in that case, you can rename yourself by, in the participant list, look for your name. Okay? Look for your name, click on more. There will be an option to say rename. Right? Okay? So in this case, I can rename myself. I go to, and I move the cursor over my name, click on more, and then I can rename myself. Click on rename. This is my name now. I can change it to PC rename, for example. Right? So notice that my name changes to another name. Right? Again, how do you do it? You go to more, click on rename, and then type your new name. Now, this can only happen, right? This happens only upon you being admitted into the meeting. While you in the meeting, while you are in the waiting room, you will not be able to change your name yet. Yeah? So the first time around, normally the host will probably allow you in and then request you to rename yourself so that he will be able to, or he or she will be able to identify who you are. Again, how to do it? Go move the cursor over your name. Excuse me. Or if you are in the thumbnail, you can move the cursor over your thumbnail video. Click. You also see here rename, right? So either you use the thumbnail or the participant list. Either way, you can do the same. Yeah.
Cik Mansur, saya nak tanya.
Yeah.
This is Joyce. Saya nak tanya. So for the Zoom name, can we put our nickname and then we just inform the administrator? Because I'm not comfortable using my own name because I use Zoom for other purposes as well.
Okay. Yeah. Then I suggest you make arrangement with the admin. At the end of the day, the admin. Okay, there are two reasons actually. Yeah. One is for the admin to identify who you are so that he can admit you into the meeting room. The other one is at the end of the course, we will generate so-called attendance, and the name will appear in the name that you use will appear in the attendance list. So if you want to use a name, that is not your, if you want to use nickname, for example, then you do make arrangement with the admin, the host, so that he or she will be able to identify who you are.
Maybe in future, in our application form, you can also have one feature of this in case any one of us wants to use that.
Yeah, right. Yeah. You can consider that. That's a good idea.
Encik Mansur, I registered under my IC name, but today my screen is showing just Karen Koo, which is not the full IC name, but I got admitted. I wasn't left in the waiting room. I got admitted for this Zoom meeting. It doesn't tie with the name I registered with U3A.
Yeah, because for this particular meeting, we will just let anybody in. We assume that we are all participants of some courses organized by us. May or may not be, but we assume it is. So we will just accept. Even if that person has not registered, maybe after going through here, that person may be interested to join to register for some courses in the future. So yeah, even though you use a different name, but we accept everybody for this particular session.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
I just changed my name.
Oh, yeah. So yeah. Okay. But notice that you can only change after you have been admitted. What if you have not been admitted and then you're waiting for somebody to admit you? And then apparently because your name is not a name that the host is able to identify, so I will not be able to show you via screen demo because I've already in a meeting. So I will not be, so what I will do is let me see whether I can show it differently.
Sorry, Mansoor.
Yeah.
Do you want to show them that while they are in the waiting room, they can actually chat with the host? Because most of the time, when somebody register with not their name and I cannot recognize, for instance, if I'm the host, I cannot recognize them. So I normally will chat with them in the chat and says, "Hey, can you please recognize? Can you please identify yourself so that I can allow you to go in?"
Okay. So let me see whether this helps. Hang on. Okay. When you join some meeting and then you are placed into a waiting list, not waiting list, sorry, waiting room, you will see something like this. It says that the meeting host will let you in soon, right? You will see this. Now, the host may send you a chat message. He can send a chat message. You will see that the message next to it when the host send a chat message. This similarly, this if you are using this screen is a sample Android screen on my Samsung. You also see the same thing, but notice that there's a chat, there's an indicator to say there's a message for you waiting for you. In this, in if you're using mobile device, you have to click on it to see the message, to read the message. Whereas if you're using computer, it will split the window into two parts. One part is where the message is. So you will see, please rename yourself, for example. There's or whatever message that the host has sent to those in the waiting room. In fact, earlier, who wanted to join our meeting early today, we actually sent a message to say that we will only open the door at 8:30. So for those of you who were early, you probably have noticed it. Yeah.
Manso, may I just interrupt here?
Yeah.
I have also another option suggestion regarding names. So what happens is that once you have registered for a course, the convener or like the host will have an attendance list with all the names there according to IC. Your IC names will all be listed. She will have a sheet there. So she will set up the chat group, and within the chat group, if you are coming in with a different name, you can inform her there and then, and she will add your name to it. For example, if on the attendance sheet, the name list, the name comes up as Tan Amoy, for example, right? Tan Amoy, but you're not coming in as Tan Amoy. You're coming in as Angeline. So you please tell the convener, right, that you are coming in as Angeline. Angeline Tan or Angeline. She will make a note of it and put it down next to your name on the attendance list. That way she will recognize you.
Yeah. Thank you, Lily.
Welcome.
Okay. So that's the waiting room, and as well as the host may send messages to those in the waiting room. It will appear something like this on your, if you're using computer, something like this. But it will be displayed if the function is there, even if you're using a mobile device, but it may be presented differently. This is how it's shown on Samsung. So you notice that it says that there is one message waiting for you. You need to click on it, then only then you will see the message itself. Okay. Now, in case you want to change your name rather than inform the what do you call it, the convener or the host, what you can do is when you get to the Zoom screen, okay, when you see this Zoom screen, let me. Unfortunately I don't have the screen. Okay, but there's a screen where you can issue a back button. I will share later. Maybe unfortunately I'm sorry I missed that particular screen where you can do a back button on the Zoom screen or Zoom app. Then you will get this screen where you can change your name. Now, if you don't want your name to be remembered, so meaning that it's only valid for this particular meeting, don't tick on the remember my name for future meetings. You don't tick on it. Yeah. So that's one way to do it. Or as Lily was saying, that you can make arrangement with the convener. Yeah. Now, remember somebody was asking about how to set the profile photo. Now, even if you click here, you can do edit profile picture, but provided that you have an account. Okay. And when you click this, it will actually yeah, it allows you to, in my case, I have an account, then it allows you to change the picture. Okay. You can click on the change picture and then click on your file manager, what do you call it? File manager for the where your photo is. Okay. I believe it only works if you have an account, but you can try, give it a try. Even if you click on your icon, we can also do the same. Okay. Now, what happens is that when the class is about to start, what we do is we create a WhatsApp group. Okay. And within for that particular course that you registered for, and then the participants for that course will be in that WhatsApp group. So what happens is that, so this happens at least a week before the class starts. At least a week before the class supposed to start, and then the convener for that particular course will share with you the link for you to join the class when the time comes, when the day comes. So what happens is that you will see, okay, we will create a WhatsApp group, okay, and then the convener will share the link to the course. Normally it's one day before. Not too soon, because normally what happens is that if you share too soon, on the day before somebody will be asking, where's the link, you know that. So because you shared too early, you know, and then a lot of messages comes after that, so that they miss the message. So normally we will send a day before the class starts, so that you know it's still at the bottom of your WhatsApp screen, or rather WhatsApp window. So this is an example how the message looks like. Yeah? So it says, you know, there's a Zoom session starting what time. It means you inviting you the topic of the class. When, notice that it says when time is always the first class. Even you have gone through third, fourth, fifth class. Yeah, we'll see here, it's always the first one. And then the list of all the other classes. Okay. Then the list of all classes. And then you will see this part. If you want to what do you call it? If you want to add this meeting or event into your calendar, then you can tick here. This is optional, it's up to you. Yeah. Then if you click here, if you want, you can click here if you want, if you would like to add the meeting to your calendar. Yeah. But otherwise, you will see in the red circle here, it says join Zoom meeting. So even if you do not register or you don't have a Zoom account, you can use this link to join the class. Yeah.
Encik Mansor,
Yeah.
I get the link in my phone. Then I want to attend the class from my laptop. So
Okay.
like today's meeting, I copy the link, I paste into my Gmail, then I email it to myself. Then from my laptop, I open my Gmail to click on the link. Maybe another way is, I don't know, you got to use the WhatsApp web, right? Is there any other faster, easier way? Because I get the link in my phone, but I want to attend class from my laptop.
Yeah.
So
to me, normally I will use the web WhatsApp.
WhatsApp web.
Yeah, WhatsApp, that will be to me lah. I mean, it's just a personal preference. To me, that is the easiest.
Oh, because you got to, don't know, WhatsApp web, you got to got the the screen for your phone to capture, right? The
Yes.
Yes, you have to you have to have a
Oh,
phone
okay.
next to you
Oh, okay,
because
okay.
you need to what do you call it? Not snap, but you need to WhatsApp need to read your QR
Can.
code.
Yeah,
Manso.
Yep.
Manso.
Yep.
They can use the meeting ID and then the passcode. They can type it in directly going into Zoom.
Boleh.
Without having to
I'm
copy
coming
the
to that.
link. Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
I'm coming to that. Yeah. So the easiest way is for you to click the link. Then it will straight away take you to the meeting. Otherwise, you have to launch. You have to launch Zoom. You have to start the Zoom application, right? So you will see, you know, a Zoom. You will see a Zoom app. You launch a Zoom app where it allows you to join, and then it will prompt you for meeting ID, and then after that for passcode. So you can use this. Okay? So I use this link. If you use this link, you don't need to key in the meeting ID and password. Okay. Otherwise, if you go direct to the apps, you launch the apps, and then you choose join the meeting, and then it will prompt you for meeting ID. You provide the meeting ID, and then it will prompt you for passcode. Then you just provide the passcode. That's another way to join the meeting or the class.
So for all the classes, we will be having the meeting ID and passcode because this is the easiest to get into the Zoom meeting from my laptop.
Yes.
We will get the ID and passcode.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
And this set either the link or ID or passcode, they are valid throughout the many sessions in for that particular course. So if there are 6 sessions, it's valid for all the 6 sessions.
Oh, okay, that's great. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So that you know that there's only one. You don't need to worry about changing or having a different one the next week and the week after. Okay. So we always set to you the same one for throughout the duration of the course. Yeah. Okay. I just want to note, if you notice, sometimes in your mobile, do you see this icon? I don't know whether it's visible on your screen or not. You remember this is where the microphone is, right? Do you see it?
Yes.
Sorry. Okay, so if you see something like this, either on your laptop or of your mobile, what indicates is that you're not connected to your audio. So you will not be able to hear people. People will not be able to hear you. You have to click on that icon and then get connected to the audio. Okay, so for example, if you see this, in my case, because I've not clicked on join with computer audio, it will only turns into a microphone icon after I've clicked on the join with computer audio. Okay, oops. Okay. Is it clear?
Mansur, I always join with computer audio. If you don't join with computer audio, then what happens?
You will not be able to hear people, or neither can you be able to speak. People will not be able to hear your audio. You notice when you have this participant list, right? And remember I was saying about click on more for some actions. You notice that this icon next to it is similar icon to this. So from here you can see that for example Lily Fu, mic is off. Okay, it's mute. She off the video. Okay, Cik Hamdan off the mic, but the video is on, so you can see his video, right, Cik Hamdan? So this indication to you, okay, Ku, for example, the mic is on, so when she speaks, we will be able to hear her, but her video is off, so we will not be able to see her. Yeah. So yeah. So if you scroll down, you will see all the various. Cik Zana tadi dia he clicks on the one of the reaction and then he has not set it off. So the reaction still there. Yeah. So okay, no problem. Does that answer your question? Normally it happens when you are using mobile. So when you are using a mobile, if you see something like that, just make sure you click on it, and then it will tell you whether you want to get connected over Wi-Fi, something like over Wi-Fi or something. You just say yes, then you get connected to the audio. Okay.
Manso,
yep.
Can I add for you that when you join the Zoom meeting, there are one tick that you tick just now. Can you go back into that screen, join meeting? Because there are two other boxes underneath.
Which one?
The one, yeah, after you put join computer, join with the next one where you said join meeting.
You're referring to this, is it?
No, I'm not referring to this one, the other one, which is the same thing, but you come into it not through the.
You're talking about different screen.
The screen that you were showing us just now. This screen.
Okay.
There are the two boxes again,
yeah.
also underneath the two squares, remember?
Remember I was saying that there's a one way for you to join a meeting using the meeting ID and passcode instead of using the link, right? So this is how the screen looks like. And then you key in the meeting ID. Now, and then your name. Once you click join, it will ask for passcode. Now, notice that I click here, remember my name for future meetings. So if in the future, I use the link instead of this, remember that if you use the link, it will go straight into the meeting, into the waiting room. It does not go through this. So there's no way for you to change your name. So it's taken from here. So for you to change your name, you have to use this way. So that it gives you opportunity for you to rename yourself or change your name first. Yeah? Yes. And then if you click on don't connect to audio, then obviously you will get that icon where you see like what do you call it? Headphone, right? Because you're not connected to the audio. So you will not be, people will not be able to hear you. You will not be able to hear people. Turn off video. So when you join, it will automatically turn off video when you join the meeting. Furthermore, your audio is not connected. So you will not be able to hear people. People will not be able to. You can see you can still join the meeting. You will see the what do you call it? The progress of the meeting. It's just that the audio is not heard. Does that answer your question, Cik Leng?
No, I just wanted them to make sure that it is not ticked. Because if they come to the class, they complain. Some complain to say, I can't hear anything. Yeah. They write in the chat box, no audio or no video. So that's because they tick these two boxes. Yeah. So we have to remind them not to tick those two boxes.
Yeah, they have to, yeah. And then, or when you get to, where's the other screen earlier? Or when you get to this screen, where is it? The screen, I know, when they get to the screen, they just click on join with computer audio. Oops. Yeah. If you want to automatically join with computer audio every time, you just tick. You tick here, then you don't need to worry about this anymore. Automatically, you will join the meeting with the computer audio.
That's why sometimes I don't see any this speaker symbol on in some people. That's why they click this don't connect to audio, is it?
Yes.
That's why we don't see any this speaker symbol there, is it? That's why.
Okay, but the idea is basically if you see this, right? If you see this, if you're already in a meeting, you see this, click on it. if you see this, you're still on the screen, you still have an opportunity to click on join with computer audio, but you may have joined without the computer audio, then you have to click here. Yeah. So normally it happens to the mobile devices. Okay. We have one more topic actually, two more.
Breakout room.
Breakout room is something that I think so far only 1 or 2 courses have used it. So hardly used. Now, but sometimes you want to capture what you see on the screen, right? Now, this one is a bit tricky because it depends on your computer. Okay, so different computer works slightly different. Now, if you see this, I'm going to show you, for example, you see a keyboard, right? Right? Do you see a keyboard?
Yep.
Yeah. So this is a on-screen keyboard. Notice that there's this thing called PRT-SCN. So on your computer, most, not all, most will have something similar, either PRT-SCN or PRT-SC, something that indicates print screen on your computer. Now, mobile devices works differently, right? For example, on Samsung, you use 2 buttons. One is the lower volume plus the power button together to do a screen capture. Okay, but this one is on the computer. You look for this on your keyboard and you use that, you press that print screen. Okay, so for example, you won't see it because I press on my keyboard and my keyboard is not shown on the screen. This is only just for visualization, for you to imagine that there's this keyboard key on your keyboard. Again, not all, but I believe most are there. Okay, so I'm going to press this on my keyboard. Okay, press print screen. Now, when you capture, right? When you capture screen, you have to save it somewhere because it only capture in the clipboard. What do you call it? Clipboard. But for you to save it, you have to keep it somewhere. So, and then different persons have different preferences. You can save it in Microsoft Word, for example, right? You have Microsoft Word. And then you can just paste it. Okay, go to home. Oh, sorry, here, paste. Okay, then you see the screen. Notice similar to the screen that we had earlier when I pressed my keyboard, right? Right. So I can do another print screen, for example. If I do another print screen, then I will paste again. It's another page. Another screen is pasted. Okay. So that's how you do a screen capture. You have to look for that PRTSC or PRTSCN on your keyboard. Okay. So you have to look for that. Now, this is one way to do it, but in my case, I normally prefer to use PowerPoint. So I normally save in PowerPoint, but it's your preference where you want to save it. So some people prefer PowerPoint or Word, Microsoft Word. So I normally would save it in PowerPoint, and then I just prepare the next slides. Okay, then I'll go another print screen, and then I paste the new one. Yeah, and then Again, I prepare the next slide so that I can copy another or print capture another screen. So whether Microsoft Word or PowerPoint or any other apps that you want to save them, is your preference. So that's how you do it.
So I just press print screen on the laptop.
Yes.
Then I cannot copy and paste into a Word file. Normal work, I can press print screen, then I open a Word file, then I paste it on, I think. But now I press print PRTSC, then nothing happens.
Okay. Before that, when you see print screen,
yes,
it depends on the computer. Now, certain computer, for example, mine is quite straightforward. There's a print screen button. I have another computer, also ada PRTSC print screen, but the PRTSC is printed in blue color. It is not black or black, but it's blue color. So basically, what happens is that there's another key that is blue color called FN on my keyboard, that particular another computer. So I need to press the two together. FN because it's blue. So all and then the print screen. Why? Because it's blue. So it depends on your computer whether it's similar to my one of my computers I'm using now, where it says print screens, quite straightforward, while another print screen is in blue text. And then what it says is that I have to press another button called FN together to have the effect. So you have to see on your keyboard. So this print screen button is specific to your computer. So you have to check on your computer how to do it.
You mean press simultaneously function plus print screen together?
On
Is
one
it
of my
pressed together?
computers. Not all. Not all.
Is
It
it?
depends on your computer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
On
never
one of
mind,
my
I'll try.
computers, I have to do that. Yes.
Other than, sorry, hello.
Yep.
Other than print screen, can we use a snipping tool?
Sorry, come again?
Can we use a snipping tool to save the,
It is possible. It is possible. But of course, you have to do some additional. You have to install that software and all that. So, which I don't think we want to go through that. But there are other ways to do it. But what we discuss is that using the standard features that comes together with the computer standard. Yeah, but obviously for some people, they are familiar with some tools they download to do the same functions. That is possible. Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to say something here. Snipping tool is bundled together with the Microsoft, right? So you probably have it as well. But like Manso says, it involves extra steps, right? But the main purpose of print screen is that you want to capture whatever the instructor may be showing on the screen. For example, he may be showing a slide that you want to capture. So if you have extra steps, for example, snipping tool, then while you're doing that, he has already gone to the next slide and you'll miss the next slide when it's explaining. So the thing is speed, because sometimes the instructors, they show the slides quite fast and you can't capture. So, what Manso has suggested, print screen is the best way. And, if you can, save it on PowerPoint.
Yeah. So what I would normally do is I would start PowerPoint before the class, the meeting starts. And then I would just create as many blank pages as possible. Oops, sorry. Sorry about that. So what I would do is, before the class start, I would just prepare as many blank pages so I don't need to, do every time I need to paste, so that it's quicker. I just paste, whatever screenshot, you know. So I do a print screen, I go and paste, right? Then I just ready the next one. So I go to the next one, I print screen, it is there. I just paste, so that it's faster lah.
Hey, Mansur, can I just clarify? Because I noticed that during our classes, we are told no recording. But here you allowing screen sharing. So are we contradicting anything here?
Okay, there are two different things. Recording means you actually record the running of the meeting of the class. Yeah. So remember I was saying about this feature record, which is not activated.
Yeah, but still the lecturer's notes we are taking shots. Is it without their permission? Is it okay?
I mean, I suppose you still need to get permission from the instructor specifically. Upon that, then yeah, then you would do screenshot, and then furthermore, you would do selective capture. Yes. But yes, I if you want to capture, do check with the convener. There are instructors that's very strict. There are that there's no capture. So at least let the convener know.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, okay. We are coming to, okay, I think we're running late on time. There's one other feature actually that we're supposed to discuss, breakout room. I was saying earlier. Now, breakout room is so far, I think it's used by one or two courses, hardly used. But basically what it means is that when you go to a conference, right? When you go to a conference, large conference, sometimes for discussion, they will break you into smaller groups, and then everybody go and discuss in their own respective group, right? So this breakout rooms allows for that. Basically, the host can create additional rooms and then place participants into these rooms. And once you go into that room, it just becomes like a normal meeting, but in a smaller group. So it doesn't look much different to you whether you are in a smaller in a meeting breakout room or you are in the main meeting. Basically, it works the same way. You will see all this menu all there, but it works within that smaller breakout room. The only difference is that when you see leave here, right? For breakout room, is there are two options. Either you leave the meeting or you leave the breakout room to join the main room. The main meeting. That's only. But otherwise, all the same.
Encik Mansor, when you go into a breakout room, does the convener just do it? I don't have to do anything. She will put me into a breakout room, or I have to click something, a link or what, to get into the breakout room?
There are options available to the convener, so it depends on the convener. So depends on the scenario. Okay, let's try see whether I'm going to create 7 breakout rooms. Okay, now you're going to be assigned automatically, so you will go into different rooms. Okay, and then we'll see.
Mansoor,
Yep.
as I understand it, the breakout room, once you assign to them, they have to go in, they have to join the breakout room.
The options. The options.
Yeah. They are not automatically into the breakout room even you have assigned to them.
There are options. You can make it too.
Oh, okay.
But they still have to join.
No,
no. Let's still in breakout room because we only got 16 participants here. 17. You're muted. You're muted, Mansoor. Mansoor, you're muted. Huh? You're muted, Mansoor. Oh,
Okay,
right.
when you assign automatically, it will we wait until everybody comes back.
Ah, okay.
Okay. So
One second.
you can automatically set, or you can set as such that it's manually added. It's up to you. It's up to the host. So for example, just now, I set it that everybody goes into respective room automatically, right? So everybody goes into the into respective room automatically, and then when I cancel the breakout room, there's also a timer that I can set, but it was set to 1 minute. That it takes a minute before everybody comes back to the main meeting. But you can set it 30 seconds. It's up to the convener, to the host. Right? But notice that what happens is that notice that what happens is that you were taken into different rooms, right? But within that room, it works similar as if you are in another meeting. Right? So that's basically what the breakout room is about. Okay? So we are running about 10 minutes late. Any question? I still owe June 10 tadi about Huawei, right?
So just a question, just let's say if I'm the host, and then when I notice that the Zoom goes off automatically after 40 minutes or 1 hour, how do I keep it longer? They ask to pay for it or something like that. Is it worth paying?
Again, your question again?
No, this is the 40 minutes that the Zoom gives us when we do a Zoom meeting without being a
Is it worth paying for to have it longer? Is it worth paying it?
Okay, a Zoom, there are different categories of Zoom license. The free one is limited to I think 40 minutes or 50 minutes.
40.
But unless you go for a paid license, which you can run for longer meeting and bigger audience. If you're using a free one, for example, it depends on how many in the meeting. If it's just between two of you, two people, then it can be as long as it takes as you want. But if it's more than two, then Zoom limits to 40 minutes. Depends. Sometimes it happens to us before as well. Sometimes they automatically extended, but there is on the Zoom's what do you call it? Zoom's yeah, correct. Yeah.
Oh, I see.
You cannot control that one. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay. Any question? I think we have covered all the things that we want to discuss.
I think Maha asked you whether it was worth it to have to get a Zoom account.
I just started tuition classes. I want to know whether it's worth paying for it actually.
Oh, then you have to see how often do you.
Yes.
You have to see how often they use it and all that, how many participants.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, I just started, so I see whether I said worth it.
Oh,
usually it goes off and then we on again, is it, to continue?
Yeah, that of course one way. It gets terminated. It gets terminated after 40 minutes, and then everybody log in again. Yeah.
Okay. Rosia here. Will this video be available on YouTube for future reference?
I believe that's the intent. Yes.
Thank you.
Welcome. I mean, we understand that some courses will not start until June, July, and all that. So you probably have forgotten some of the things that we discussed tonight. Yeah. So you may need to review it again. Yeah. We appreciate that. Yeah. Okay. Any question? We go through the chat if there is any. Otherwise, we are more or less done.
Yeah, just one, maybe just one last question before we end.
Yeah.
Going once. I'm June here. Yeah. Can you show me the virtual background for the
The virtual background, June, unless you have an account, you cannot use virtual background. I think you need an account, right, Mansoor?
Yeah. Okay, June, I will
Yes.
contact you separately because of your Huawei. I need to find out about the Huawei because some devices, there's some slight differences in the way they work.
I see.
If
Okay, no
I'm not
problem.
mistaken, a
discuss about the-
tablet has quite a limited options available.
Maybe. Yeah.
Yes, I mean, like for example, record is not there. Some of the things, and then it also depends on the what do you call it? How to maneuver within that Zoom on that particular device as well.
Yes, exactly. Because I use a Samsung, so it's not the same as on a laptop. It's quite
Correct. Yeah.
different.
Right. Yes. Betul. That's why it's a bit difficult to run this session. Try to cater for everybody. If we will just try to cater in general idea concept, then try to tackle those specific devices separately.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
Oh, you all have done a fantastic job today. Thank you so much, actually.
Thank you for joining us.
I think, yeah, before we end the session with a appreciation to, Mansoor, of course, let me just make a couple of announcements.
Okay.
I think some of you, especially those who are first-time users of Zoom, you'd be very overwhelmed because there've been so many functions tonight, right, explained to you, but don't worry about it. The main ones that you need to be concerned about are, and if you have a pen or pencil, you can take note. Number one, rename, right? You must know how to use a link to get in. Then if you're not using your registered name, know how to rename yourself. All covered already earlier, very nicely by Encik Mansoor. Then learn how to mute and unmute. That's also very important. How to hide or show your video and how to pin so that you will not be interrupted by any noise or anything coming in and your screen changes. So once you pin the instructor, you will see him on your screen most of the time. And of course, learn how to use a chat box. And that's about it. These are the main ones to focus on. Later on, as you get more familiar, you can pick up other functions as well. And I will also take this also to mention that if you have two devices for purposes of attending class and get the maximum benefit, go for laptop, go for desktop. The phone has got very limited use, especially if you're attending a practical class like art, for example, or floral arrangement, right? You need to have laptop or desktop. It's better for you. And I'm also going to take, if you don't mind, Mans, I'm going to take this opportunity also to do some promo as well for our courses. So if you haven't signed up yet, or if you have already signed up, but you're still looking for other courses to take up, we would encourage you to maybe consider these courses because they're starting next week, very fast, right? So correct me if I'm wrong, Kui Ling. We have coming up helpful singing. That's by Dr. Indra. And next one would be digital skills. Now this is really useful because you're going to learn a lot about apps and so forth. Yes. And we have guitar as well. We also have Japanese language and ukulele. So these are the ones that are starting next week, very fast. So if you are thinking of signing up, please do so within the next few days. Tomorrow, in fact, even better. Right? So yeah, that's all I want to say. Over to you, President. Anything else?
Thank you, Lily. Thank you, Mansoor. I just want to make a small test, ladies and gentlemen. If you like this show, can you show your reaction by putting thumbs up?
Practice, practice what you learn.
Reaction. You go to the button reaction. If you're happy, you put thumbs up. Can you please? I want to see how many of you understand. Good. Okay. Okay, good. All right. Not bad. Well, at least you have understood 50% of the lesson, I think. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for your attention, for your presence, and thank you, Encik Mansoor and Lily and all the AJKs. Okay. All right. Again, like I just want to reiterate what Lily has said. Please encourage your friends to join us, to join the U3 courses. We still have some places vacant. You can still join some of the courses. Please tell your friends, your cousins, your neighbors, your your colleagues, your co-workers, okay? Okay, thank you so much. I really appreciate your presence and your attention. And well, good night. Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you. Good night, everybody.
Thank you, everybody.
Good night.
AJK, please stay back, huh? AJK. Thank
All
you.
right.
Thank you. Good night.
Bye.
Bye.